Welcome to My Decadent Life. My name is Jennifer. Thanks for joining me today. And today I have a review of the new Invisible Touch concealer. These guys are right here. And this is a really interesting brand. They're doing a lot of really cool things as far as sustainable, reusable packaging, and they claim that their ingredients are high quality and or clean. I am not somebody who has a strict guideline on ingredients that I will use. I am definitely on a journey, and so I am just really incorporating companies that are going a little over and above and beyond and are making strides to do things that are a little bit more environmentally friendly and maybe just friendlier to our overall wellness. So if you are interested in seeing my thoughts and a demo on this brand new concealer, then please stick around. Okay, so when I first saw this on Instagram, I read through all the comments and I hemmed and hawed for a few days on whether or not I wanted to actually purchase this. This is a $38 concealer. Yes, $38 concealer. It comes in 12 shades. And when I buy a concealer, I almost always buy two colors. I do like to get one that's a little bit more skin toned, and then one that is a little bit highlighting underneath my eyes. I don't do a ton of over highlighting, but I also find that I do tan quite a bit in the summertime. We are outside a lot, and so then I feel like when I'm in a different season, I can mix these concealers and I just have like more to work with. My complexion does tend to change with the seasons. So that being said, I really didn't know if I wanted to buy two, but you know what? I did. I bought two of them, and I got the shade M20 as the darker. So M20 is right here. This is the darker shade, and then I also got F120 for my lighter shade. And let me pull those up and tell you the description on them. So I just noticed on their website they have a, how do you say, Kjaer Weis? And I can't get it to turn off now, so I'm sort of laughing. So Kjaer Weis has made some statements on their Instagram about inclusivity, and they have also commented that their concealer line is very inclusive. To start with the darkest shade, which is interesting because as a hairdresser, I always think of the darkest shade as number one, starting first. So in my color books, in a level finder, if I'm doing hair color, it always goes from darkest to lightest. So that isn't unusual for me to see that. I almost wouldn't even have thought of that had I not heard other people talking about that. However, there has been a lot of discussion as to whether the darkest shade really has a skip until it gets to the next darkest shade. And I would have to agree with that. Now, they have a cool little finder here so you can do like your skin tone. So I clicked like light, and then it showed you all the undertones. So it was F140 and F130. But when I looked at those, they didn't look as light as I wanted them to be. So I actually chose Fair 120, and then there's also Fair 110. And then when I was going to the medium, that is where I found the 220. So 220 is a warm undertone. And the fair 120 is a neutral undertone. So this concealer is considered certified organic, high coverage, and lightweight. We'll see. I'm not using the Kjaer Weis foundation today. I actually don't have it. I have sampled it in the past. I'm actually going to prep my skin with the Ritual Day Thorn Oil. I really like this. I need to shake it a little bit more. I've noticed that it gets like a buildup of color. It has these little balls in here. So I'm going to do a little shaking and put this on, and then we will apply. I used this concealer as an all-over base the last time I wore it, and prepped my skin this same way. I used this Thorn Oil. I also used my Beautycounter Sheer Defense sunscreen and their Counter Start Cocoa Boost Moisturizer, I believe. And I'm just going to press a little bit of this on. One thing I like about this oil is I feel like it wears well under makeup. That was its intent. I have really liked to wear it underneath the Ritual Defy concealer, and I like to wear that all over my face as well. However, that is definitely too light for me right now. I am going to use my Eco Tools, I think this is a foundation brush, on this side, and I'm going to just go ahead and we're going to tap in with our finger on the other side. I did post on Instagram, and I think tried to use my sponge and commented that I didn't care for how it looked with my sponge, and then they commented I should use their buffer brush, but I don't own any of their brushes. So the doe foot looks like this. This is so unbelievably heavy. In my opinion, it is too heavy. I zoomed us in. When I was speaking about the heaviness, altogether it is unbelievably heavy. I definitely would not want to travel with it. I know that like some travel it isn't a big deal. However, I like things to be nice and light when I travel. So I'm just going to do a little, this is the right color. Let me double check. Yes, this is the 120. So I'm just going to do a little bit. And I'm going to buff almost right away. I want you guys to be able to see best as you can. I find it hard to move around. I just gotta say it. Wants to kind of stick when you're, and they had talked too about not like swiping, so then I was kind of dabbing, and then these are the moments where I'm like, well, maybe I'm just bad at applying makeup, but right on the edge there it doesn't want to, it's just like it doesn't really want to move very easily, and I find it's getting stuck, and they definitely say to use it in the inner corner to brighten. Okay, so that is that. Leave well enough alone. Now what I think works better for me is a fingertip application. People have also commented that the doe foot is kind of small and that not a lot of product comes out, but I'm finding that I don't want too much product anyway, so that isn't maybe the hugest issue. Oh, I should have touched up my fingernails, you guys. Warm it up, warm it up, warm it up, warm it up. And try to get my hands out of the way. And press. And if I just press, 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 I do find that it like picks the product back up if you go over the same area too much. I mean, that isn't the craziest thing to ever happen with concealer. I definitely feel like this application is easier to do, except for that it's not easier. It's so much easier for me to like and just have my product melt right into my skin, or to use a sponge, which is what I usually do. Well, and we'll just kind of rub that in, and then over here, we'll go ahead and buff it. On the rest of my face, I find it to go on a lot easier. Do a little bit of the darker color, just kind of down the sides of my nose. And I just sort of went right through here. And right through there. And I'll just sort of rub, rub, rub. I feel like this has gone on so much better over an oil than when I just did it over my sunscreen the other day. I have yet to try it over a powder. I did just get the Thrive Causemetics Blurred Effects. Yeah, the Blurred Effects. And so I definitely will be trying this over a silicone-based primer as well. And I'll just kind of rub that in. Now, this is an expensive product to be using all over your face. I totally understand that. But I love just using concealers on my face. I love having two different colors. I feel like it creates a more natural look than to, this probably I'll just go ahead and buff, than it does to always have to just put like one tone down and then add lightness and darkness back into my face. So this is something that I frequently do. It's not unusual for me. I have just a little bit, I'm gonna put just a little, I got just a little bit more blemishy things going on down here. I'm actually gonna put both colors because that is a little too dark, I feel like, for down there on its own. And then pat, pat, pat. And then we'll just kind of buff that guy in. So I know we're up close and personal. No hiding anything here. So it's hard for me to see in my monitor exactly. I know I'm looking at my monitor. I'm gonna hold up my mirror. It's still definitely really caught up over here. So where I thought I had it buffed out enough, I'm gonna buff it a little bit more, but it doesn't wanna move. I think I'll have to go in with my finger just to take that away. Yep, that helped. And then it definitely creases right away. That isn't unusual for me. I am creasy under my eyes, and a lot of times things will settle. I don't love what it looks like. I know for full coverage, I find that like I want to use my fingers, but then anywhere I touch, it picks the product up and takes it away. And even like right here, that little red dot is still showing. I don't know if I need to let it set longer, because if I let it set too long, I feel like it just dries, and then you get like this kind of more, I don't know if patchy is the right word, but where it shows all that texture underneath. And I know that concealer is typically more pigmented than foundation. So even though I'm not using a ton of product and I'm kind of blurring it out, I feel like it maybe should almost cover those red spots better initially. So as far as the claims of being high coverage, I think that it would be high coverage if I was putting enough on, but since I'm trying to use a lighter application because I like that look better, I don't know that I'm really getting a high coverage feeling. I don't know that I would even really describe it as lightweight. People, and see, like even right there, I just feel like it, I know I maybe just didn't do it well enough there. I know that people are saying that they don't have to set it, and I tried to not set it the other day, and I just kept creasing, and then I just felt like it was almost disappearing from under my eye. So I am going to set it. So I just need to make sure then when I set it that I'm going to tap all of that out, because it actually felt like by the time I did that last time and then got my brush to it, that it had re-creased right away. Now I feel like I picked up some product from right here and I have like a red spot showing. And then I definitely need to powder my big forehead wrinkle. So I chose the Bite powder because I find it to be very blurring. And over the top of this concealer, I think that it's like you can see the powder just sit on top of it. Now, in all fairness, I don't have their powder. I'm sure that's what they would recommend. I tried not to put too much, but I feel like I do have to set this or it just keeps creasing. Okay, so when we're zoomed out and I see myself from a distance, and in the pictures I've taken in the last few days, I have liked what my skin looked like. I didn't notice it unless I was up close and working with it. I found it to be kind of finicky to work with, and a lot like the foundation, which I didn't love. I found it to be hard to move around, and as I was trying to apply it with whatever means I know the foundation I tried 3 different ways. It also seemed like once I got it warmed up enough to move it around, then it just slipped right off the spots that I needed it to stay. And already upon looking at this, it's almost like I didn't powder it at all, and it's creasy again. Alright guys, I'm going to finish up my makeup and I will be back. Alright everybody, I am back with the rest of my makeup on. Keep a lookout for those videos. They're just super quick, but I tried a new brow product, and then I am also, I got some new Salt New York cream products. So if you're curious to see those new ones, and I also have a Salt New York video that I filmed a few months ago that has like a little bit more of the information on the company in there. So keep a lookout for those. But as far as these heavy concealers that are expensive, I find it really easy. I mean, we all do, right? To give a good review if we love something. And when I started this channel, I thought like, I just want to share about all the things I love. And when I thought about doing like a negative review, I was like, well, if I don't like a product, I just would never share about it. You know what I mean? And I'm finding it to be like, oh, I don't always like everything I get. And then I'm like, well, dang, like you spent the money. And then also, do you want other people to purchase the product without knowing maybe what you know? Here are my thoughts. If you have perhaps really oily skin and you like a product that isn't too slippery, then you very well may like this product. If you are really focusing on sustainable packaging and refillable packaging, then this could be worth it for you. If you don't mind putting a little bit of extra work into applying a product and you really like to use your hands and your fingers to work a product in, then this also could be the product for you. And while some of those things as far as like packaging is really important to me as well, I don't think that these are worth it to me. I would prefer to use my sponge to apply them, or, you know, just use this brush, which did end up like working out in the long run. But when I compare them to my Ilia concealers or my Pacifica, their full coverage one, I find this to be a lot harder to work with, a lot stiffer to move around, and a lot clingier. And I don't really have dry patches, and I don't have super problematic under eyes. I'm a little creasy, like I've said, but I don't have like an overwhelming amount of wrinkles, and I'm not trying to cover a ton of darkness, and I didn't feel like I overused the product. Now you could have a different opinion on that. Maybe I needed to use more product. And maybe I'll try that as well. You know, I'll maybe just go ham and really work it in and see how I like it then. But my fourth impression, or my fifth impression, I should say maybe, because I think I got to wear this 4 days in a row, has not been that I would like tell my best friend to run out and purchase this product. But I struggle because what if you loved it? What if you were like, I don't have any of those problems, Jennifer? So make sure to look at, like, Khaki did a really good review, and Reagan Hart did a really good review, and, you know, kind of weigh those pros and cons. I think that the colors I have are really pretty. I do like how neutral, especially that F120 was, compared to how often even, like, you know, the Kosas, for instance, I purchased a neutral color and it is so yellow. So there are definitely some positive things going on with this product. I just don't know that the formula is right for me. Holy buckets. 5 minutes of me trying to say I don't like a product in the nicest way possible. I wish I did. I think it would be awesome to love this product. I just don't really like it. And I didn't find the foundation to work well for me either. I think I should try that again. It's been like a whole year. I feel like my skin has probably really changed since I've been like postpartum and now pregnant again. It might be really worth it for me to give that another go and just really see where I can go from there. So, all right, everybody. Thank you so much. What are your thoughts? Are you going to pick this up? Did you already pick it up? Did you pick it up and now you're here looking to see if other people feel the same way that you do about it? I did see a few things in their comments on Instagram where people were saying that it seems really dry. So it'll be interesting to see what the next few weeks brings as more and more people purchase and try this, and see if there's more and more reviews popping up on YouTube. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe so you can see the next videos I have coming up, and I will see you in the next one. All right, bye-bye.